Hi there, welcome to Midlife Mojo. This is Karen here, and I'm here today because I wanted to share with you that we had a speaker, Fara, who is the CEO of Diet Ideas, and she has kindly given her time for one of our webinars and wanted to share with you some of the key points that she gave out on how important our food intake and our lifestyle can help us reduce weight and better our well-being and our health. So don't go away, listen to this. It is just an educational platform. You can take whatever that works for you and implement it, but do your due diligence. And so we're going to start from there. So a lot of the whole premise of this webinar was because I get this from a lot of women, especially if they are past 35, they may be going through some menopausal symptoms. So perimenopause, where the weight gain starts to pile up, especially during the midsection. But then I also come across a lot of women who says that, this is sudah tua lah, that's normal, or the fact that, that's part of aging. I have all this symptom, all this pain, but that's normal. And I want to tell you, all this is not normal. We don't have to suffer the extra weight. And please note that all this extra weight that we carry also affects other pains and other symptoms, such as your joint pains, your heart diseases, your cholesterol. All these are all domino effect when you don't control your weight well. Okay, so this is why I want to debunk that, because I want you to think about people like Jane Fonda, who's 85 years old, and look at how amazing she looks like. Or the fact like Jennifer Lopez. Everyone knows Jennifer Lopez. She eats well. She's very careful with her exercise. Of course, she's a celebrity. Yes, we all know that. But that doesn't mean we, normal people, can have that good and vibrant life as well. Betul tak, Farah? Yeah. So let me introduce myself. So I am 56 years old. I am fully menopausal and proud to be menopausal right now. And I, like all of you, I have went through a lot of symptoms from the menopause, from putting on weight, extreme dry skin, hair loss, everything. I think I got 80% of the symptoms. And it was a turning point for me when I did go through a very traumatic journey in terms of my depression. And for me, when I started to have that depression thoughts and things like that, that's where I knew I needed help, and I knew that I need to find a way out of this, because this was not my character at all. So my passion is hoping to educate all of you women out there that you are not alone, and there is a community here in Malaysia that is headed by women in midlife, that I'm here for you, and I want to share that you're not alone. Your symptoms are not just you having. There are a lot of women, and there's so many options available that can help us improve our well-being and improve the symptoms that you're facing now. Okay, so it comes, the entire Women in Midlife and this webinar all came from my personal journey, my need to help women that I'm very passionate about, my need to meet people like Fara, who actually talks about health and eating well and how crucial that is, and also to help to find new purpose in my life, because like a lot of women who are in their 50s, maybe you're coming to a crossroads. I didn't want to do what I used to do in terms of career. I wanted to find a career that makes me bring joy, not to myself only, but to people around me, if that makes sense. Okay, so I am a qualified menopause coach, and I am also the founder and of Menopause, which is a plant-based supplement that helps women go through this transition and addresses the symptoms and help you improve the quality of your life without taking any hormone replacement therapy. So at the end of this session, our hope is that you will understand better why your body is changing the way it is. You will find that programs, whether it's for weight loss or mental health or improving your symptoms, that is available for you today. And most importantly, to find that you have a community within us that we will help get you inspired and motivated to live your best life and in your second spring. And in all this, I'm here to help you coach you, answer your question, and be your virtual friend throughout this whole process, and that you are not alone. But before I go on more and more, I just want to introduce our lovely guest, Masfara, Fara for short. And Fara, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Hi everyone, my name is Fara. Professionally, I'm a dietitian, but at the same time, I'm also running a health technology company called Diet Ideas, focusing on nutrition. So we help people who have health issues, whether you are trying to lose weight through nutrition. We have a group of dietitians, nutritionists in Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore, and we are serving more than 12,000 clients, including 70 corporate companies. Yeah.
Okay, so I would like, ladies, we are about 30 people here. Please give us lots of messages and reactions so that we know that we are not just talking to ourselves like orang gila. So please give us some thumbs up and love so that we know you are there. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Jam. Yeah. Okay. So let me explain a little bit for those who doesn't understand what the transition that I'm talking about. So perimenopause happens to a lot of, let's put it this way. All of us will go through perimenopause, menopause. But a lot of women do not know that perimenopause can happen as early as even 35 or 28. Okay. Thank you. Hi, good afternoon, Jaya. Okay, so this can happen as early as 20 something. Now, the term post-menopause is exactly 12 months of no period from your last month of period. So if you had your last period in January, the following January, without any period, then you are considered postmenopausal. So in between is a perimenopause stage that for some of you, you may have no period for 2 months and then suddenly it comes. Or some of you may actually have two cycles in 1 month. It goes haywire, and this is because your hormone is going erratic. Everything is going erratic. And this is because the hormonal balance is causing you to have a lot of symptoms. And this is why it's important to understand that you are not going crazy. And I will explain to you what are some of the not so common symptoms and some of the more common symptoms that you will face. Okay. And if I'm going too fast, please raise your hand and tell me and ask me questions. Yeah. So our body is full of hormones. All right. So you got estrogen, progesterone, thyroid, testosterone, leptin, insulin. All these things are part of us. But when you think about when you're younger, when you have your period, you remember that before period, maybe your stomach a little bit kembang, bloated. Or maybe you have stomach ache when you have cramps when you have your period, or some of us even have like craving now, mau makan something sweet or that kind of thing, right? So this is also because our hormone level have shifted, and you have that craving, you feel the bloatedness and all that. But then after your period, you feel good again because all your hormones still come back, and it refills you back, and therefore you get your energy and all that. But as we get older, okay, as we get in this chart, you can see when you're 25, your hormone levels are quite good. Then about 35, it starts to drop. And most of the women in Malaysia, as Asians, we also have the drop of estrogen from 50 onwards, and it can be more than 50-60%, okay, which is depleted. Yes, breast bengkak is also something that it becomes very sore, very sensitive, right? So it can become even very painful. So this is very normal because things start to, your estrogen, your progesterone, all these hormones starts to drop, and it's not being replaced. So that is why it's super important that we think about how we can replace this hormone as naturally as we can. So that how we eat, how we take our supplements, these are something that we have to do because it will not be replaced by your body. Got it? Okay. So estrogen is very important because it controls our brain function, our heart function, and our bones. And yes, progesterone cream help with yes, it does help jump with progesterone cream. And I will explain to you if you give me a moment. I will explain to you what are the uses of these hormones. Okay. So one of the things that you need to understand, estrogen is a very dominant hormone that affects both men and women. They both have it. But when you have lack of estrogen in your brain, that's where you have your brain neurotransmitters is not functioning, and that's why you have the brain fog. You have difficulty to remember things or even to focus at work. Okay, sometimes it can also lead to a lot of cases, like for my mom, she gets into dementia, Alzheimer become a huge problem as well. Okay. Then, of course, heart. Now, a lot of women are not aware, but most women, especially postmenopausal, the risk of having heart diseases goes up by almost 70%. So this is very scary because we start to put on weight. We start to have more higher cholesterol levels. A lot of women, when they hit the perimenopause, don't realize your cholesterol or blood pressure starts to rise. So this is also an issue that puts a lot of pressure to your heart. And of course, with weight gain and the fact that we don't exercise or we don't do proper strength training, your bone density starts to be a problem. And therefore, it is proven that Asians experience more osteoporosis problem than Caucasian women. It's purely because of the diet that we put in. Okay. Hi, Rohaya. Thank you for being here. Okay, progesterone. Okay, progesterone cream is, you will see that doctors will always recommend this as an evening thing to take. Why? Because progesterone is your calming hormone. It helps you to sleep better. It helps you to cope with stress. Some women get very easily sensitive or cry easily because their hormone is out of balance. Their progesterone is lacking. So there are two types I noticed over the last few years as a coach. Is that women who lose weight during menopause, and if they generally suffers from stronger heart palpitation, that's because they are more likely to have higher estrogen and lesser progesterone. And usually these women tend to sleep less. They are not able to sleep well. They get very agitated and more irritable. Then women who are starting to put on weight and they don't have so much of the heart problem is because they have higher progesterone than estrogen. And that's why this imbalance starts to happen and causing them to put on weight and all that. Got it? Am I going too fast? Just Mazida, you're going shopping and listening. That's multitasking. Very good. Wonderful. Okay, so a question for Farah, yeah. So a lot of women think that they can eat food that can help boost their hormone. My question to you is, number one, can food alone subsidize all your nutritional needs? And then number two is, what kind of foods that can actually boost our hormones?
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Karen, for the question. And hi, everyone. So maybe I'll just go directly to answer Karen's first question. Can food alone can substitute all the nutritional needs by each of our body, right? So there are two answers to answer this. Number one, if you're younger, yes. If you're younger and you don't do any you don't have any health issues, and you really take care of your diet, like a complete and balanced nutrition, yes. But as we get younger, as we get older, sometimes our body metabolism and sometimes our body absorption rate might not be as efficient as when we were younger. Yeah, so food, I would say 90% will help us, but at the same time, we need additional 10% coming from supplementation. That's why it called supplementation. Yeah. So the second question is, what are the best food to boost hormones, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So technically, all foods are good as long as it is complete and balanced nutrition. It helps to boost our hormones. Restricting some of the food group, like for example, eliminating carbohydrate like rice, bread, it will disturb our hormones. So it's not best not to do that. But if you're talking about the best food to boost our hormones, they are based on my experience and based on my readings. Yeah. So these are the top four food, which is flax seeds, avocado, salmon or mackerel or tuna or sardine. Okay, and cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and kale. So the reason why is like, for example, flaxseed, it is very rich in phytoestrogens. Okay, so it helps to balance estrogen and at the same time it helps to support menstrual health. So there's a research that says if you take a lot of flaxseed or if you put flaxseed inside in your routine as early as 20 years old, the risk of developing or getting menopause will tak cepat. Yeah, so this is number one. And at the same time, there's also some studies that suggest if you take around 1 to 2 tablespoons, it can help to provide enough lignin to support hormonal balance. So in the future, if you are undergoing the menopause or perimenopause symptoms, the symptom is not that worse as it's supposed to be. This is flaxseed. And another one is that we always tell our clients is avocado, even though it's quite expensive. But if you go to I would say the like NSK grocer, sometimes avocado is quite affordable. Yeah. So avocado is also quite one of the parameter, one of the I would say criteria for food that can help to boost our hormones is we need to ensure healthy fats. Okay,
Yeah.
healthy fats such as, for example, that is high in monounsaturated fat that support the production of progesterone and overall hormonal health. So not only avocado, yes, because as you see, the food here on the presentation slide is not locally produced, like some of our members mentioned, but we can always substitute it to local food. Like for example, the content that I mentioned in the avocado, which is high in monounsaturated fat, but you can also find it in from the healthy oils in Malaysia. For example, even of our palm oil is the monounsaturated fat content is very high compared to other fats. Not only that, maybe if you know red palm oil, right? Red palm oil also the contents of monounsaturated fat is high, so it helps to support the production of progesterone. Like for example, if you take avocado, you can take around half to one avocado per day. Okay, or at the same time, at least 3 to 4 times in a week. Okay, and if you take palm oil, I think palm oil is we use it every day. Yeah, should be no problems in terms of food incorporation. And the third food it would be like salmon. Okay, so salmon is maybe it's not that affordable. So another example is sardine. If you go to like for example NSK grocer, it will be usually they have the happy hour only 5 ringgit per plate. Yeah, so it's already sufficient enough to help us to support to reduce the inflammation and improve our hormone signaling in our body. So food like sardine, tuna, it helps us if you take around 2 to 3 serving per week. Okay, or maybe salmon in the size of your palm, it helps to reduce inflammation in our body. Yeah. So maybe this simple thing some people might not notice, but it's actually the overall food that contributing to the overall health in our body, and it starts with one. And lastly, cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, it's locally produced, cauliflower, cabbage. Okay, it helps to support estrogen metabolism. Okay, and at the same time, of course, it helps us to detox excess estrogen, which helps for hormonal balance. So in terms of the dosage or in terms of the food recommendation, 1 to 2 cups daily is actually enough to aid in liver detoxification. And when we talk about liver, right? So there are some amazing research that I read. Women who are in the midlife, if you don't sleep early, the liver won't function as best as it's
Should.
supposed
Yeah.
to be,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
So, and there are some research that shows liver will start activating its process after 11 p.m. So if you don't rest well after 11 p.m., liver don't do its function well.
Correct.
So that's why it disturb our hormones.
Exactly.
Yeah. Over to you, Karen.
Okay, so a few questions before we move on. So this question is, if I have high blood pressure, cholesterol, heart problem during this stage of menopause, what must we do? I think the main thing is you need to understand, number one, if you are already in menopause, you need to know that it's not just your diet, it's also because your hormone plays into it. Let me explain. Yeah, when your hormone drops, your good cholesterol is not being produced anymore. And what happens is your bad cholesterol starts to go up. And that's why a lot of women start to have cholesterol, high blood pressure issues. Of course, there is a way to reduce that. Number one is changing your diet, which we can work on as well, and including healthy lifestyle changes. That can definitely help. So there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it can be reversed. Okay, well, we will go through it a little bit. Another question: if I want to lose weight naturally and still have good heart health post-menopause, can that be done? Yes, Wendy, definitely. That's why we run this kind of webinar, because we sincerely believe that we can enjoy life, but it's about having that balance. And also, like what Farah just said, if we were in our 20s, you don't need a lot of supplements. But as we get older, there is no denying that we do need supplements to help, because the body is just not absorbing the way it should before. And I think this one, can chia seed take in place of flaxseed? Farah, what do you think?
Yeah. You can replace chia seed, and chia seed also has very high content of fiber. Yeah,
Okay,
good
good.
replacement.
All right. So then, locally sourced, there's so many options. Honestly, of course, the pictures always show the more Western dishes and all that. But I love avocado, and yes, it can be very expensive. Sometimes it's like almost 8 ringgit for a piece. And actually, I said this before. If you want 400 mg of magnesium in your diet, you need to take like 6 avocado. That's a lot of avocado a day. So yeah, so this is where, you need to balance out and say, I need some supplements, but I have some avocados as an option. And avocado, just for some of you who are vegetarian, one avocado is the protein is so high content that it's as good as having a steak. So, and remember, you will find that I will talk about this a lot. We need protein to help us lose weight. Farah, agree with me, right? It's 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram. So that if you are 50 kilos, so you need to take 50 times 1.5 grams. So you need to have about 75 grams of protein in your diet. Got it? Okay. Next question. Please give some suggestion as how to include flax seeds in our diet.
Yeah, so since Hari Raya is coming soon, maybe if you want to bake cookies, you can include flaxseed in your cookies, right? And at the same time, if you want to do some vegetables, you can also include include the flaxseed in your vegetable when you're stir frying. So this is common example, and at the same time, easy to integrate. Yeah. Another one is maybe you can also put it in your drink.
Yes.
So
I think protein shake is quite nice. It's simple, and you can put in your flax seeds and even all your fiber, so to keep you enough fiber. So that's an easy way to drink that as well. Yeah. Okay. Rohaya has this question. I've been on pills for 20 years. I only stopped at 53. That's 5 years ago. Now I'm putting on weight. Is this why you're taking? Can I ask, Rohaya, are you referring to birth control pills? Rohaya, are you okay, yeah. Okay, birth control pills for 20 years, that's a long time. I think what your gynae did was use the birth control pills to help regulate your hormone, which is quite a common practice here in Malaysia, which I don't agree to, but that's a personal thing, because I don't think that is right that they just give you birth control pills to control your change in hormone, if that makes sense. So yes, it could possibly be because you have stopped that hormone. Basically, you were on some kind of hormone therapy, and that's why you are putting on weight. And I will explain why this is happening. Then when you understand why, it will make sense what are the food that we can eat. Just give me some time. Okay, salmon, is it healthier from the sea or from the pond? I don't think there's a pond salmon. It's all from the sea. You mean farm? It doesn't matter. Salmon is good regardless. So I think you can go ahead and buy the salmon that is good for you. But I think, is it, correct me if I'm wrong, Farah, but ikan kembung is a good one as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then sea bass is not such a fatty fish. But for those of you who don't mind, but actually can think about, I talk about this a lot, is the Mediterranean diet, which is olive oil,
Yeah.
good tomatoes, a little bit of garlic. These are very good and healthy option that feeds the brain as well as your heart. I hope that helps. Okay, good. Let me continue. So then we have, of course, the testosterone. So a lot of women think that this is only men will have it, but that's not true. Women have this as well because we need testosterone to build muscles, to have energy, and to have a good, healthy sex drive. So a lot of us are going through this dull moment where sex life becomes difficult or we don't feel we have the energy. So Farah, tell us what food we should eat.
All right. Yeah. So when it comes to increasing libido or sexual pleasure, most of the people they will resort to supplementation, which is also possible. Okay, but from the natural side, there are certain food and drinks that we call as aphrodisiacs. Yeah. So, for example, like food and herbs or substance that increase our sexual desire, arousal, or pleasure. Yeah. So some of the example, naturally, food that has a natural characteristic that can help to increase our libido. For example, like dark chocolate. Dark chocolate, it helps to boost our dopamine and serotonin, and at the same time, it helps to enhance pleasure and our mood. Yeah. So, and at the same time, but don't take it too much. Dark chocolate. All right. Yeah. So, especially for those who are trying to lose weight, because it's not that dark chocolate is the culprit, but sometimes we are unable to control ourselves. Yeah. So maybe take dark chocolate once a week. Yeah. Or maybe thrice in a month is already sufficient. Okay, but I would totally recommend people to take oyster because it has the highest source of zinc, which is very, very essential for testosterone. And it is important for libido in not only women, but also men. Yeah, so watermelon. Okay, watermelon is also one of the food that contains citrulline. Yeah, it helps to improve our blood circulation. That at the same time will help to improve our libido and sexual pleasure. Okay. Last but not least, there's garlic. Is very, very good example. Okay, because it contains allicin, so it helps to improve blood flow and at the same time relaxing our blood vessels. So these simple things is actually can help to improve our libido and energy. So maybe right, I'm not sure if you have heard about roasted garlic. Okay, I would totally recommend it for our midlife women to try it. Okay, at least maybe take it once a month. Okay, because not only it helps to improve our energy, but at the same time it also helps to improve our overall blood flow, which can help which directly helps to improve our libido.
Yes.
Lastly is pumpkin seed.
Okay.
Right? Pumpkin seed is rich in zinc and magnesium that is essential for libido and sustain energy. So remember the key point. Food that is rich in zinc and magnesium help in improving our libido. So not only pumpkin seed, maybe if you're going to supermarket and you see the content is higher in zinc and magnesium, or even take supplementation or even take menopause supplements. Yeah, so it is already there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So roasted garlic. Oh, I love roasted garlic. Actually, Mazida is so easy to do. There are two ways. The easiest way is you take the whole garlic, you cut into half, and then you put some olive oil, stick it in the oven, and roast it. Like if you're going to do a roast chicken or whatever, you also roast it and you eat. I tell you, the garlic is so sweet and become creamy. It's beautiful, and you don't have the pungentness of the raw garlic. So it is very easy to use. Okay, and then number two, how to take the garlic? Okay, two ways. Norasha, you can actually yeah, you can make garlic bread as well. Yeah, for sure. And it's also very good. So what you can do is you can chop some garlic, get the zest of lemon and scrape the skin, and then you pour honey into it and let this mixture sit for about 10 days in the fridge. And then every day you take one spoonful of this honey, garlic, and lemon zest concoction, like a vitamin of every day, if you like that. It takes away the pungentness of the garlic, so that if you kiss your partner also, you don't smell of garlic. Otherwise you're like, whoo, you're talking to and nobody wants to talk to you because you smell of garlic and onions. Right, Farah?
Yeah, correct, correct.
Okay, so oh, you eat garlic honey. Yeah, exactly. So it's actually very good and also helps build your immune as well. You'd be surprised the value of garlic as something so simple that can be very, very good for us, and it doesn't cost a lot. Okay, the next one is cortisol. Now, for those who don't know, cortisol is stress levels. Now, I've been saying this a lot because a lot of women, today especially, we are all stress because we have high flying jobs, we have to take care of children, we have to handle a business, we have to take care of elderly parents or whatever that comes your way, but we forget to take care of ourselves. And one thing I need to stress highly, highly to all of you: hormones doesn't stay stagnant. Hormones changes like every second of your day. So like if you run a hormonal test at 9 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, the test will give out different reading again. And when you have already the problem of a depleted hormone level, when your cortisol, your stress is too high, or it's overwhelming, it will overcome all your other hormones, which means it will push down all your good hormones and make you more stressed and more unable to cope with whatever symptoms will come through. And that's why sometimes when you think about it, you say, oh, I'm actually taking HRT, but I don't feel well. I'm still going through all this, because you can take HRT, which works very well, but if you do not change your lifestyle, you do not take care of the mental health portion, your stress level, it's not going to work. And I want to say this is because I have seen too many women who have retreated themselves so much from society because they feel that their stress level is so high and they feel that there's nobody to talk to, and this also affects. Yeah, and when your cortisol is too high, yes, it also affects weight loss, because your metabolic rate is not going to work as efficiently, and also it will reduce leptin. Leptin is a hormone that tells your brain, hey, you have enough to eat. But because if you think about it, ladies, I think Stella, yes, agree, is that when you are highly stressed, what do we go for? We go and eat something. We feel we need comfort food, whether it's the ice cream or if you want to buy some chips. That's because you are so stressed, you end up eating those food, and we find that's why we start to put on weight. Okay. So for Farah, in terms of cortisol, again, are these foods what you recommend to help with reducing the cortisol?
Yeah. So basically, when it comes to diet and nutrition, reducing cortisol, it needs combination of effort, lifestyle, exercise, but not that high intensity, and at the same time, complete and balanced.
Yeah.
food. So when it comes to food that can help to reduce cortisol, so dark chocolate is very recommended because it contains flavonoids. I keep on talking about dark chocolate because people always underestimated the power of chocolate. They think it needs to be avoided, but actually we can incorporate it. Yeah. So
But I want to interject. Dark chocolate, ladies, is the chocolate that has at least 70% dark chocolate, not the one that where the sugar level is higher. So you need to check your labels, yeah?
yeah. And then this, okay, maybe I continue. If you go to Diet Ideas website, there's a healthy foods section over there. Yeah, so there's a list of dark chocolate. Yeah, so maybe you can just go there and have a look. Okay. And at the same time, green leafy vegetable, although it sounds cliche, but it contains high magnesium. So high magnesium, it helps to regulate cortisol level, and at the same time, it helps to support over relaxation. Okay, and they are saying that says don't trust your gut feelings if your gut is not healthy, right? So it's very important for us to take probiotic rich food, okay, such as yogurt, kefir, okay, miso soup, right? Tempeh, okay, because healthy gut, natto, yeah, can help to reduce cortisol production. Okay, and berries, blueberry, strawberry, and do you know that banana is in the berries group? Yeah, so it is very high in antioxidant and it helps to reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, which directly helps us to reduce cortisol. Again, fatty fish is very important. Mackerel, sardine, ikan kembung, also very good. It's very rich in omega-3, which help to reduce inflammation and directly lower cortisol level. Another example, such as oats and whole grains, such as whole grains like your what's example of whole grain breads. Okay, it helps to stabilize blood sugar, which indirectly reduce cortisol spikes whenever whenever there's a dip in the blood sugar levels in our body, especially for those who have diabetes.
Right. So I think for a lot of us, when we are highly stressed, the first thing we always grab for is the not healthy things like the chips and the ice cream. So I know it sounds like really hard, but when you're highly stressed, go and grab yourself a yogurt instead. Go grab yourself maybe some chocolate, but a good quality, not the sweet one. Yeah, Mazida, get the one that is good, or go and have some fruits instead, because that will help to first. Then you're not eating the unhealthy option, and it also helps to kind of lower down your cortisol level. Okay, so the other hormone that I also want to highlight is leptin. It's not many people know about this, but it's the one that actually tells your brain, hey, you got enough to eat already. Don't, and it influences, it tells you to stop eating, or it tells you to increase your metabolic rate. And this is why when cortisol is high, when your perimenopause or menopause symptoms where hormone starts to deplete, we all tend to go for much all the sweet things. Yes, Greek yogurt is a really good option. I love Greek yogurt. And yeah, and so hunger controls becomes a problem. And that's why it's important to know what is triggering your hunger pangs and what is triggering your need to binge, for instance. And so it's important. I think Farah will show you what are the food that you need to incorporate so that you don't end up binging too much.
Yeah. So when it comes to try to curb hunger or to reduce binging to reduce binging is the first thing that my team and I will always encourage our client: drink a lot of water. Water. This is the first rule that is non-negotiable. Secondly, of course, there are the reason why we have hunger pang, or the reason why we have the tendency to binge eating, is because our body lacks of certain macronutrients. Okay, so the second rule is you have to be able to take carbohydrate, protein, and fat including fiber as well. These four groups of food is non-negotiable. It has to be there. If you're trying to lose weight, low carbohydrate intake is okay, but we shouldn't restrict it. Okay, the moment you restrict some of the food options or some of the food group, we have the tendency to binge eating. So as you can see from the slide, it's very important for us to take protein-rich food. Protein is very, 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 very important. Okay, so usually when we give consultation to our client, we always encourage carbohydrate, protein, and fat accordingly. But then for midlife women, the first priority it would be protein, because number one, muscle drops. Secondly is usually for midlife women, kadang-kadang tak ada selera nak makan. But the question is why body weight tetap naik. Yeah, so this is one of the reason. Okay, not unhealthy, incomplete food choices. Yeah, so protein like lean meat, chicken, lean beef, fish, eggs, even tofu and lentils is very important to be put inside our food options. And then high fiber food, green leafy fruits and vegetables, we all know that. And at the same time, healthy fats. Healthy fats, avocado, almond, walnut, chia seed, these are all usually a Western kind of diet. But if you see in Malaysia, in local market itself, okay, sometimes our food option is already completed the healthy fat, but at the same time, we don't really recognize it. Simply because it's normal, right? Like for example, our palm oil, right? Monounsaturated fat is very good there. The content is very healthy. That makes us that helps to incorporate all the healthy fats inside our diet. Yeah, so very important two things: water intake, and secondly, complete and balanced diet.
Okay. All right. So the other thing, of course, is insulin, which is actually a glucose controller. So, again, I see a lot of women who transition to being diabetes, or having diabetes due to the hormonal shifts. So this is really important because I tell you, if it's not controlled, it can be very detrimental to your health. Especially if you see someone who have to amputate their fingers or their toes, and it's really not a pleasant sight. So, and this can be reversed, isn't it, Farah?
Yes.
Yeah.
We call it remission.
Yeah. So these are some of the things that you have recommended. So these are the ones that say, are these the food that you recommend to help increase?
In terms of, this is for managing blood sugar during menopause, right? Yeah. So basically, all food needs to be incorporated, like whole grain, vegetable, lean protein, and healthy fats. But it's also very, very important for us to for women in midlife to have a check in terms of their blood glucose level. So from there, we can also personalize the type of food that we can suggest to the client, and at the same time to see the impact out of it. And there's one point that I wanna stress when it comes to diabetes control or blood sugar control. If you plan to put it into remission, or if you plan to put into reversal, right? Do not stop taking carbohydrate. It may bring us good control during that time, but unfortunately, in the longer term, it will ruin our pancreas. Insulin production is not as optimum as it's supposed to be. Yeah, so it's very important to take your carbohydrate and manage it accordingly, according to your body weight, according to your lifestyle. And on top of that, these groups of food is very, very important to be incorporated as well.
Right. So let me ask this question, Farah. So carbohydrate, we can take carbohydrate that is a bit more complex, right? Something like more brown rice instead of white rice, maybe brown pasta, or even a mix, so that we are not totally cutting away the carbohydrate, but we are making it more substantial in our stomach so that it stays, right? Correct. Okay, understand. Okay, the other one is DHEA. It's a youth hormone that is also our anti-aging, the bone density, and metabolic rate. So all these hormones, it starts to deplete, causing whatever symptoms that you are facing. You understand now is due to hormone, and sometimes you need to really listen to your body and understand that you are not unique in having those experience or those symptoms yourself. And unfortunately, when hormonal changes, that's where we have our weight gain, especially around the tummy. And I talk about the fact that I think Farah can also agree that if your waist is 38 inches and it is bigger than your hip, your you need to really step up and change your diet because that's very dangerous. If your husband is 42, a male is 42 inches at the waist and still bigger than the hip, again, that will be his cue that you need to both go on a diet. And the fact that when these hormonal changes happen, you tend to binge and eat a lot of sweet things. You get more tired and sleepy, which escalate as because already your hormone is not working, which means you're getting more tired and your BMI starts to increase. These are all very, very unhealthy. And I said to you before, misery or being down loves to have sweet things. So I think some of us have said before that, when you're down, this is how I look like when I am having ice cream at the end of the day. Okay, a question from Stella. Complex carb has to be taken in smaller portion. Yes. So what we are saying is not to eliminate everything, but control the portioning. So be careful so that and try to opt for quality over quantity. So like getting better quality higher fiber content pasta or rice instead of getting the white rice, if that makes sense. Right, Farah?
Yeah, correct, correct.
Okay. So what are the things that if you don't take care of those excessive weight? I talk about joint pains. You get more inflammation. Like tennis elbow, shoulder, frozen shoulder, low energy levels. But I also know that some women, they tend to ignore whatever symptoms they have because they feel like, oh, if I don't know, it will not happen. I will not have problems. And I have many times been telling women, no, ignorance is not bliss. If you don't know, you should listen to your body and be aware and do the changes because you cannot take your health for granted. And our body is very resilient. With the right diet plan, with the right lifestyle changes, your body can actually reset itself and become healthier. There are studies done where someone who is a very smoker and it was not good, and when they quit smoking and changed, everything rejuvenated. So our body is a wonderful body, and we need to take care of it. Okay. Just to scare you a little bit, this is how diabetes can look like, where your toe starts to be, and this is not a joke. And a lot, I can safely say 60% of diabetic cases can be reversed easily just by changing your food and making sure that you incorporate exercise in your daily life. Okay, so just now I was talking about visceral fat and how this is affecting all our organs and how it can increase your stress levels, causing stroke, which is very high, especially when you're going through menopause. The fact that you have basmati rice is good, yes, because it's low GI. Correct, Farah? Okay. All right. So,
Correct.
the question I have for you, Farah, is can when we are at this midlife age, what are the supplements that we should take to help us? Besides, if we are doing the right food intake, what are the essential supplements that we should take? Oh, yeah, you're muted. Your audio muted. Yeah, okay.
Hello?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Honey rice, yes, those are good. You want to have low GI rice. Let's see if I'll wait for Farah to come back. I think she was dropped out. Okay, when she comes back, can I ask you which is the hormone that helps curb hunger pangs? Can you answer me? And you'll get a prize from me. Yay, Jennifer. Good girl. Paying attention. Okay, and what is the hormone that affects our heart and our brain health? Yes, cortisol. Great job. Wow, this is a good crowd. Everyone listening. So I'm going to give you a present. Yes. Okay, while we're waiting for Farah to come in, I need y'all to just fill up this quiz because I want to go into explaining some of the symptoms of menopause. And in order to do that, I need to know what are the symptoms that you may be facing. Can you fill up the quiz? Some of the symptoms that you are currently facing and you would like me to address would also be good so that I can help you answer them. Farah, are you in? Okay, good. Okay, I don't see your video. Farah? Oh, wait. Hang on. Okay. Can you make Farah co-host? Are you able to? Sorry, just give me a second. I'm just trying to. Okay. Farah, are you online? I can't seem to, I can't seem to accept you. Okay, so it looks like fatigue is a major issue, and hair loss, dry skin, and the joint pains are one of the major problems that most women have. So this is something that we will address as we go along. And let me just close this. Farah, I need you to log out and come back in, please, if you can hear me. Can you look out for, yeah, hot flushes? Okay, so one of the things that you have those hot flushes and all that, let me explain to you, okay? So I'm sorry about the thing. Okay, the post-menopause. So you have post-menopause where women think that after they have finished their 12 months, their menopause, and you think that there's no more issues. This is where I want you all to be extremely careful because that's where your hormone have suddenly plummeted and you will have more problems with your bone health, your brain health, your metabolic rate, and as well as your heart problem. So this is very, very important and you need to be aware and control this and be aware of what you can do. And some of the symptoms that we talked about, which I will wait for Farah to come back in, is actually what we call the vasomotor symptoms. So this is where you have your, like Wendy said, very hot, Yeah, night you're sweating a lot. It's interrupting your sleep. It causes, this difficulty to sleep and making you very annoyed. And because you cannot sleep, then it makes it even worse. Wait,
Yeah. Hi, Karen. I can finally talk, but I'm unable to open my camera.
Okay, but at least we can hear you now. Good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Thank you, thank you.
sorry. I'm going to go back track and let Farah talk about this. So, about the heart health and brain health and bone health.
Yeah. So okay, for the camera, if you could enable me to open, then maybe I can start my video. But otherwise, while you're doing that, maybe I'll just answer your question.
Okay.
Right. Okay. First thing first, apologies for the hiccup just now. So when it comes to the best diet or the best supplements for midlife women, it's very important for us to take care of our health, heart health, and at the same time, taking omega-3 is very important, antioxidant and B vitamin for us to be able to focus for brain health. Because as you know, for women in midlife, the tendency to develop dementia, Alzheimer is also very, very high. Yeah, so for your information, most of the women that I see who are in their perimenopause, menopause, their bone health is also affected. So it's very important for us to take calcium, vitamin D, and magnesium to strengthen our bones. So when it comes to taking this kind of things, it's also very important to incorporate milk intake at least twice a glass in a day. Yeah. So I believe some of the, based on my experience dealing with midlife women, right, Karen? Some of them are unable to take this kind of food from the natural food.
Yeah.
So supplementation is very, very necessary.
Correct. Correct. So these are actually, I want to highlight, especially those who already gone post menopause. Yeah, you need to understand that it's not over. And in fact, if you don't take care, especially within the first 10 years of from your first year of your menopause, you may deteriorate a lot faster. And that's why I really want to impose that you need to actually have your vitamin D, and make sure you have your magnesium, glycinate, that's super duper important, and also taking care of your heart health. So let me go on to all the symptoms, because there's so many symptoms that I want to highlight. Oh, we cannot take milk, migraine. Okay, so Stella, there's a lot of options these days. Things like oat milk, things like rice milk. There are lots of options, and you can also take those that are. I think it could possibly be the gluten. Yeah, you can get the lactose-free milk instead. That would be one of the options. Yeah. So just now I was talking about vasomotor symptoms, which is hot flushes and all that. Now, in general, I say in general, Asian women do not have this so badly compared to Caucasian women. Asian women generally will actually have more problems with osteoporosis. It's just that it's the way our genetic is built, our diet, and all that. So that's why when we have and please be aware that when you have those hot flush, especially at night, new studies actually show that when you have, especially at night, it kind of kills more brain cells for women who actually experience it more at night. So you need to be aware and not to have such severe attacks. So you need to know how to control and cool yourself down. So some of the things for those of you who have that problem is avoid coffee, avoid alcohol, make sure to drink a lot of water, like Farah says, it's non-negotiable, and to make sure that you don't eat too much spicy food, because that does trigger more hot flushes. Okay. Then we did talk about how with weight gain, it causes like your visceral fat, your waist being bigger, risk of your heart, because we talk about how lack of estrogen can affect your bad cholesterol. You have the risk of high blood pressure. So yeah, so that's why it actually can affect you as well. And of course, a lot of you have highlighted almost 60% about your skin. I don't know about you, but I have hand creams all over the place. I have cooling sprays all over because my skin is very dry and I need to make sure that I take care of it now because, again, your skin is your largest organ. And if you don't take care of it and it gets very dry and itchy, especially at night, you will not be able to sleep because you'll be scratching the whole time. And it can also develop into eczema and more severe skin disorders. So you want to be very careful of that. And of course, UTI, urinary tract infection, causing decreased libido and painful sex. So I believe we all want to have intimacy. And when you don't have that with your partner, it is it can cause even, friction in a relationship and difficulty for your partner to understand what is going on. So these are all part and parcel of the perimenopause, menopause symptoms. So vaginal area, again, a lot of women don't think that this is important, but how wrong they are because, when your vaginal area is very dry, yes, cranberry juice, definitely drinking lots of water. And also there's so many, you need to try to avoid infections as much as possible because doctors generally like to give you antibiotics. And when you have antibiotics, it affects your flora and your bacteria area in your vagina, which makes it even worse. So it's a very vicious cycle that you need to avoid. And yes, cranberry juice is very good and it can help to keep it at bay. And this is something
women,
I wanted.
There's a lot of genetic differences. And so for Asian women, menopause tends to be a lot of bone pain, joint pain, headaches, and less of the hot flashes and night sweats. But for Asian women, obviously with menopause comes the risk of osteoporosis. So a lot of care needs to be taken for Asian women going through menopause to preserve bone health.
Okay. Hi again. I hope you found that really insightful because getting Fara to speak is very difficult because she's really super busy. And most important, take care of what you are eating. Be mindful of what you're eating. Look at how to add more fiber, more high protein food, and quality food instead of quantity. So please like and subscribe my channel. And most of all, tell me what you are eating. Tell me what are you making the change so that you have a more vibrant and active second spring. So go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.